In 1983, in the Arabian Sea near Gujarat, some divers had been searching the depths of the ocean for days, searching for a mystery. One day they stumbled upon a mystery that would astonish the entire world. Deep within, they stumbled upon a magnificent city with high walls, a network of wide roads, and intricately carved statues. It seemed as if the echoes of an ancient civilization still lingered in these ruins. When the remains were sent for scientific testing, it was revealed that they all dated back to the Mahabharata period. This submerged city was Dwarka, mentioned in the Mahabharata, the Harivansh Purana, and numerous other Hindu texts. This was the sacred land that, according to Hindu scriptures, was founded by Lord Krishna himself. Thousands of years ago, Lord Krishna's exploits were visible in every direction here. The tune of his flute would resonate throughout the city. It is said that the walls of the palaces here were inlaid with gold and silver, and the pillars were studded with diamonds and precious stones. When the sun's rays fell on them, it seemed as if heaven itself had descended to earth. It is believed that for years this city witnessed the divine exploits of Lord Krishna. But then, time took a turn, and in a single moment, the entire city of Dwarka was submerged in the depths of the ocean. Everything vanished in an instant. So let us find out the truth about this sacred land that combines faith and history. What was the reason for the city of Dwarka to sink into the sea? And what scientific evidence is there that matches the Mahabharata and other mythological texts about Dwarka? Located in the Saurashtra district of Gujarat, the city of Dwarka is situated on the banks of the Gomti River and the Arabian Sea, and Dwarka is one of the 4 major pilgrimage sites in Hinduism. Dwarka is also counted among the Saptapuris. This means it is one of the 7 most sacred and ancient cities of India. However, today Dwarka is divided into 2 parts. One is the main Dwarka, a city located near the seashore, where there is also the Dwarkadish temple dedicated to Lord Shri Krishna. The other is Bet Dwarka, now submerged in the depths of the sea about 34 kilometers from the main Dwarka. Bet Dwarka is considered to be the original Dwarka city of ancient times, where Lord Shri Krishna ruled thousands of years ago. But today, only the sound of the ocean waves can be heard there. To properly understand Dwarka's history, we must turn to texts like the Mahabharata, Vishnu Purana, Bhagavat Purana, and Harivansh Purana. According to the Bhagavat Purana, when King Kansa of Mathura, overjoyed at the wedding of his sister Devaki, was taking her and his brother-in-law Vasudeva on a chariot, a divine voice announced that the 8th son born from the womb of the same sister whose wedding he was so happy about would be his end. It is believed that in that era prophecies were never false. Fearful, Kansa imprisoned his sister Devaki and brother-in-law Vasudeva. As time passed, Kansa killed each of Devaki's children at birth. Then Devaki conceived her 8th son, Lord Krishna, considered the 8th incarnation of Lord Vishnu. As Krishna was born, a miracle occurred. All the guards fell into a deep sleep. All the prison doors opened automatically, and the handcuffs on Devaki and Vasudeva fell off. Vasudeva immediately took Krishna across the Yamuna River on a stormy night and reached the home of his friend Nanda Baba in Gokul, where Yashoda Mata had given birth to a daughter that very night. Vasudeva left his son there and returned to Mathura with the daughter. It is said that when Kansa learned of the 8th child in the morning, he rushed to the prison but was surprised to see that this time the child was a boy.
It was a girl. Yet he tried to kill that child as well. But as he tried to throw her down, the girl flew into the air and said, "O foolish Kansa, your killer has been born. You will soon be punished for your sins." This statement robbed Kansa of his sleep. He ordered his men to kill all the boys born that day. Meanwhile, Lord Krishna was growing up in Gokul, in the home of King Nanda and Mother Yashoda. On Kansa's orders, his men killed all the boys born that day. But whenever anyone approached Krishna, they were either miraculously killed or defeated. When Lord Krishna himself grew up, he went to Mathura with his brother Balarama and, after a fierce battle, killed his uncle Kansa. He then freed his parents from Kansa's captivity and handed over the throne of Mathura to Kansa's father, Ugrasena. When Kansa's father-in-law, the Magadha emperor Jarasandha, received the news of Kansa's death, he was enraged and vowed to destroy Lord Krishna and his entire dynasty. Jarasandha then attacked Mathura 17 times, targeting Krishna, but was defeated each time. Jarasandha's repeated attacks disrupted the lives of the people of Mathura and Gokul. Consequently, Krishna decided to leave Mathura so that they would not suffer because of him. He wanted to establish a city in the middle of the sea in Gujarat. According to mythological texts, Lord Krishna performed rigorous penance for many days to appease the sea god. Pleased, the sea god granted him 12 yojanas of land, approximately 96 square kilometers. On this 12 yojanas of land, Lord Vishwakarma, the architect, built the magnificent and beautiful golden city of Dwarka for Lord Krishna. This golden city had 900 palaces, and Lord Krishna's palace stood in the center of the city, from where he ruled Dwarka. At the same time, the Kuru dynasty ruled Hastinapur in Haryana, northern India. At that time, Dhritarashtra was the king there, with 100 sons known as the Kauravas. His younger brother, Pandu, had 5 sons, known as the Pandavas. Of all 105 brothers, Pandu's son Yudhishthira was the eldest. In those days, it was customary to pass power to the eldest son. Therefore, King Dhritarashtra declared Yudhishthira the crown prince. However, King Dhritarashtra's eldest son Duryodhana was unhappy with Dhritarashtra's decision. He claimed his right to the throne. Therefore, he conspired with his uncle Shakuni and forced the Pandavas to leave Hastinapur. Lord Krishna, a relative of the Kurus, attempted to broker peace. He asked Duryodhana for only 5 villages for the Pandavas. But Duryodhana, driven by arrogance, refused to agree to even this. Instead, enraged, Duryodhana unsuccessfully attempted to bind Lord Krishna in thick iron chains. When all negotiations and compromises failed, war was the only option left. A fierce battle for power was then fought between the Kauravas and Pandavas on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, known as the Mahabharata. In this battle, Lord Krishna gave the Narayani army to the Kauravas and himself remained with the Pandavas, serving as Arjuna's charioteer. The fierce battle raged for 18 days in Kurukshetra, and all the key figures on the Kaurava side, including grandfather Bhishma, Dronacharya, Karna, and Duryodhana, were killed. Millions of people lost their lives in this battle for power, and of the Kunu dynasty, only the Pandavas survived. The war ended, but a curse was unleashed that would lead to the destruction of Dwarka. In this battle, all 100 of Gandhari's sons, including Duryodhana, were killed. Their entire clan was decimated. She held Sri Krishna responsible for this. So, in grief and anger,
she cursed Lord Krishna, that just as her entire dynasty had been destroyed by infighting, exactly 36 years later, Krishna's Yadu dynasty would also be destroyed by infighting. Lord Krishna accepted this curse calmly, as if it were part of a divine plan. According to mythological texts, Dwarka, once a city of happiness, prosperity, and peace, began to crumble from within a few years after Mother Gandhari's curse. Where there was once the light of righteousness everywhere, the darkness of gambling, alcohol, and decadence now pervaded. People have become so addicted to drugs and gambling that, having lost all their wealth and left with nothing left, they would even stake their wives and children. When Lord Krishna would forbid them from doing so, He would cite the example of Yudhishthira, the eldest brother of the Pandavas, who once staked his relatives in a game of chess. Dwarka was becoming hollow from within, and this decline reached Sri Krishna's home. His son, Sama, had also fallen prey to alcohol. During this time, Maharishi Viswamitra, Maharishi Narada, Maharishi Dravasa, and sage Kanva had come to live in the Pindaraka region near Dwarka. One day, a drunken snake disguised itself as a pregnant woman and approached these sages with his friends. Joking with them, he asked whether he would have a son or a daughter. Angered by his absurd joke, the sages cursed him, saying that instead of a child, he would give birth to an iron pestle that would destroy the Yadu dynasty. The curse proved true, and an iron pestle emerged from the snake's body. When Lord Sri Krishna's maternal grandfather, Maharaja Ugrasena, learned of this, he had the pestle crushed into pieces and thrown into the sea. A fish escaped with a small piece of the pestle. The remaining powder drifted with the water and settled on the shore, and after some time, a grass called Araka grew from there. The fish that had swallowed the piece of pestle was caught in the net of a hunter named Jara. When he cut the fish open, the same piece of iron emerged from its stomach. He used this piece to make the tip of his arrow. Meanwhile, 36 years had passed since Mother Gandhari's curse. Lord Krishna began to hear signs of Dwarka's destruction. It is said that one day, seeing the number of unrighteous men in Dwarka increasing, Lord Krishna ordered all the men to bathe on the banks of the Prabhas River and observe a fast. Heeding his orders, everyone went to bathe, but on the way they drank heavily and fought amongst themselves. During this, a drunken Satyaki severed Kritvarma's head with his sword. After this, the people present there split into two groups and attacked each other. Those who lacked weapons to fight uprooted the sharp Araka grass growing on the seashore with the pieces of the pestle. But as soon as they took the Araka grass in their hands, it turned into an iron stick. The place was no longer a holy place, but a battlefield of destruction. Hearing of this fierce conflict, Lord Krishna and Balarama arrived and attempted to stop the conflict, but were unsuccessful. In the ensuing conflict, not only ordinary Yadus, but also Krishna's son Pradumna, the snake, and his grandson Aniruddha were killed. The curse of Mother Gandhari and the sages had now been fulfilled. Only Lord Krishna, Balarama, small children, and women remained in Dwarka. Saddened by this incident, Balarama also renounced this world. Lord Krishna sent a message to Arjuna to take all the women and children of Dwarka safely away from Dwarka. After this, Sri Krishna, with a heavy heart, left for the forest and sat under a tree, meditating. His radiance radiated far and wide. At that very moment, a hunter, seeing the light from a distance, mistook a deer for a deer under the tree. This was the same hunter named Jara who had extracted iron from the machli tree for his own purposes.
He had put it on the tip of his arrow. Thinking there was a deer under the tree, he shot the arrow from a distance, hitting Lord Krishna's foot. The Lord smiled and calmly departed for Vaikuntha. Upon his departure, a massive fire broke out in Dwarka, and the waves of the sea raged. Arjuna had reached Dwarka to rescue the women and children, and as he evacuated everyone, the entire city of Dwarka sank into the sea before his eyes. Thus, after Lord Krishna's departure, the sea god reclaimed his land and submerged it. According to Hindu mythology, this marked the end of the Dwapar Yuga and the beginning of the Kali Yuga. Since then, the city of Dwarka has become a symbol of faith, devotion, and memories of Lord Krishna for all Sanatanis. However, some continue to consider this city to be merely a story, a myth. Many believe that Lord Krishna's Dwarka never existed and is merely a religious fantasy. But the scientific explorations and discoveries made under the sea in the past few decades have completely changed this thinking. Archaeologist Hiranand Shastri's team first began excavations around the site of Dwarka in 1930. However, due to the lack of technology at the time, they found little significant. Nearly 30 years later, in 1963, the work resumed. Deccan College, Pune, and the Gujarat Department of Archaeology jointly launched a major exploration under the leadership of J.M. Nanavati and H.D. Sankalia. Some explored the city's existence by diving into the sea, while others excavated the surrounding land for evidence. These excavations uncovered light sea settlements, a large jetty, and a triangular stone anchor. These findings led to the hypothesis that Dwarka may have been an ancient city dating back to the Middle Kingdom's period. Meanwhile, scholars like Anand Sadashivaltekar and D.D. Kausambi made the topic even more debatable by claiming that Dwarka had no connection to Lord Krishna. This debate also attracted the attention of Dr. S.S. Rao, a renowned Indian archaeologist. In 1979, he and his team began a major excavation in Dwarka and surrounding areas. Using modern underwater equipment, cameras and sonar techniques, Dr. Rao's team began searching for the truth about ancient Dwarka buried deep in the ocean. This search continued intermittently until 1990. During this time, Dr. S.R. Rao's team discovered two large stone structures near Bed Dwarka and a well-organized town just 500 meters from the coast. They discovered a 560-meter-long wall there, the structure of which matches the descriptions in the Mahabharata. According to Hindu scriptures, Dwarka had 50 remarkable pillars. Archaeologists have found 30 underwater pillars so far. They also discovered ancient antiques including stone molds used for weaponry, iron weapons, stone anchors, and irrigation streams. Carbon dating these items revealed that they date back to around 1500 BC. Dr. S.R. Rao believed that Lord Krishna's Dwarka existed around 1700 BC, which also matches these discoveries. This was no ordinary discovery. It scientifically proved for the first time that an ancient city once existed in the Arabian Sea. The Mahabharata describes Dwarka as a Vari Durg, meaning a fort surrounded by water, and Dr. Rao's team also found traces of similar fort-like structures. Furthermore, archaeologists also uncovered numerous seals.
Images of goats, bulls, and other animals were found. According to the Harivansh Purana, every citizen of Dwarka had a seal which served as their identification mark. Without this seal, no outsider was allowed to enter Dwarka. During the Mahabharata period, 7 islands are said to have existed around Dwarka. When Dr. S.R. Rao's team observed satellite images of the surrounding area, they also found evidence of similar islands. These marine discoveries astonished researchers worldwide. In 2000, a team from the National Institute of Ocean Technology discovered an ancient city-like structure 800 feet below sea level. According to NIOT's report, a vast kingdom existed here thousands of years ago, closely resembling Lord Krishna's Dwarka. Subsequently, in 2007, the Archaeological Survey of India, under the leadership of Dr. Alak Tripathi, excavated a 200-square-meter area. During this period, archaeologists discovered ancient statues, stone anchors, iron and copper objects, old beads and rings. However, for nearly 17 years after this, Dwarka remained largely unexplored and undiscussed. However, in February 2024, Prime Minister Narendra Modi personally visited Dwarka. Describing it as the holy city of Lord Krishna, he performed a dip in the sea under expert supervision and offered prayers. This brought the issue back to public attention. The ASI also began rapid work in this direction. In February 2025, a 5-member ASI team surveyed Dwarka's Gomti Creek. 3 months later, in April 2020,